Hello iPad letterers, I'm so excited to share with you the new M4 iPad Pro Magic Keyboard and the Apple Pencil Pro. I'm going to unbox everything and get it set up, and I can't wait to test it out to see how it performs and to check out all the new features. The reason why it took me a little while to do this review is because I've actually got two different iPad Pros. One with the normal glass screen and then the one with the nano texture screen. I really wanted to be able to compare the two and give you my opinion whether or not that nano texture screen is worth the upgrade. It was in short supply when it first came out, but I finally received it and I can't wait to test it out. I'm also going to have to make a decision about which iPad I will keep. Let me know in the comments which one you would keep if you were me. I make videos to help you be more creative with your iPad, whether that is with lettering or art or journaling, and I'd love for you to subscribe. I use my iPad every day for digital lettering and art, editing videos, content creation, and to make new products for my shop. It's the brain of my little business, and so I was super excited to get my hands on this new upgraded model. I went for the space black version for the nano texture screen, and the normal glass version is silver. I would have loved to have more color options, especially the purple color that the new iPad Air comes in is very pretty. Both of these iPads have 1TB of storage and 16GB of RAM. If you want the nano texture screen, you will need the 1TB version. It's not available for the iPads with less storage, unfortunately. Apple no longer adds stickers to their product boxes, and I know a lot of people are sad about it, but I actually think it's a good move to reduce waste. I even think they could get rid of these pamphlets as well, because I don't know anyone who reads them. The Nano Texture iPad comes with a special polishing cloth that feels very nice. And on the instructions it says to only use this cloth to wipe the screen. The silver iPad comes with a white charging cable, and the space black iPad comes with a black cable, which I thought was a really nice touch. The charging block is still white for both versions though. The first thing you'll notice is that the iPad is a lot thinner and lighter, and I really like the feel of it. It's thin, but it's not too thin, and once you put a case on it, it feels like it's the perfect thickness. Since I'm taking my iPad everywhere, I very much appreciate the reduced weight and thinner design. The front camera is now centered in landscape mode instead of being on the side here, and this is something I'm very happy about. I use my iPad for FaceTime and Zoom calls a lot, and having the camera at the top now provides a much nicer viewing angle for the person on the other side. Now let's turn these iPads on and let's look at the screens. Both iPads have the OLED screen for the first time, and it really is something else. It is so vivid and bright, it's incredible. The colors are absolutely stunning, and I really didn't expect it to be so amazing. The reason why I wanted the nano texture screen is because I really want to be able to use the iPad outside. You can see how much the glare is reduced. I will compare the two screens in much more detail later in this video, and I will also compare the nano texture to the look and feel of a screen protector. But now let's talk about the new Apple Pencil Pro. The Apple Pencil is my all-time favorite Apple gadget, and now with the Pro version it receives some super useful new features, and I couldn't be more excited about them. At first glance, the only visual difference you notice is that it now says Apple Pencil Pro. Other than that, it looks and feels exactly the same as the second generation Apple Pencil. It connects and charges the exact same way, and for the first time it supports Find My, which makes me so happy because it will be much easier to locate it. If it could play a sound, it would be even better, but maybe that's for the next version. It sticks out a bit more on the sides because the iPad is so thin, but I haven't noticed any problems with this design. Now let's try it on both screens. On the glass screen it feels exactly the same as before, and if I end up keeping this iPad, I will most likely put a paper-like screen protector on it. The nano texture screen feels super nice to write on. The interesting thing is that it feels a lot smoother under my wrist than the glass screen, but when you write on it with the Apple Pencil, it provides a tiny amount of resistance. It's not the grip you get with the paper-like screen protector, but more of like a tiny rubbery feel. If you're someone who does a lot of handwriting and note-taking on your iPad, I could see you really liking the feel of this screen. The downside of the matte display is that the colors are not quite as vivid, and you need to use this special cleaning cloth. I'm also a bit worried that the coating will come off over time, but that's just me worrying about something that might not be an issue. It's really hard to tell right now. I'm not sure whether or not you could use a screen protector with that nano texture screen, maybe a magnetic one, but I would definitely not put a paper-like on it. Comparing that nano texture and paper-like screen protector, you definitely get a lot more grip with the screen protector. If you do like the grip and feel that you get from the screen protector, then you wouldn't want the nano texture screen. On the other hand, if you don't like having a screen protector, maybe because you don't like the feel or you just don't want to put it on, you might really like the screen. It's definitely very nice to use outside. The glare is much reduced, especially when you have the sun right behind you. If you're using your iPad mostly inside, you will want the glass screen with all its amazing and vibrant colors. The Apple Pencil Pro now supports that squeeze gesture and also barrel roll. At the moment, there are not too many apps that support the new gestures, but of course it's just a matter of time until they will be implemented. The best way to try the new gestures is in Apple's Freeform app, where squeeze brings up a context menu right next to the tip. You can also long press on the undo button to see all the previous steps, which is going to be really convenient for speeding up your workflow. I think this will be super useful in many other apps too, and I could see this almost become a bit of a standard. If you don't like this functionality, you can change it in that settings app. You could set it to change to the eraser or bring up the color palette. And one of the options that is particularly cool is the ability to assign a shortcut. I've set it up to toggle Stage Manager on and off, but you could also set it to open your favorite app or any other task. If you find that the squeeze gesture gets triggered too easily, you can adjust the sensitivity of it here. I quite like the default setting, so I have left it as it is. Another new feature is haptic feedback, which is a small vibration when you squeeze, double tap or snap an object into place that lets you know when your action is complete. The other new feature of Apple Pencil Pro is barrel roll. You can see how the nib of the fountain pen changes direction when you rotate the pencil. This is the feature I was most excited about because it will allow me to create so many cool new Procreate brushes. Procreate hasn't been updated yet to support this, but I know it's in the works and it will be released very soon. Make sure you subscribe to my channel to see this new feature as soon as it comes out. The only sad thing about the new Apple Pencil Pro is that it's only compatible with the new iPad Pro or iPad Air and not with any of the previous iPads. This is because the magnets are in a different place now that the front camera is on the long side. Now let's look at the Magic Keyboard. It's also a new design that's compatible only with the M4 iPad Pro. I've always really liked typing with the Magic Keyboard and this is no different. It's super easy to connect with the iPad. You just place it on and you're good to go. I really like this new design with the larger trackpad and the function keys. It now also has an aluminium palm rest, which makes it look and feel even more like a laptop. I chose the white color again because I really like it. If you are using it all the time and are worried about it getting dirty, then you might prefer the black version. I mostly use the iPad for creativity without the keyboard, and so it's not been a problem for me. When I don't use the keyboard, I put the iPad in this folio case. I know there's tons of different iPad cases out there, but I've only ever used the Apple folio cases for my iPads because I really like the slimline design and nice feel. This new case has also received a new design and I love it. You can now put the iPad at 2 different angles, which is super nice. I'm excited to try out the iPad with some of my favorite apps, and I'm interested to see how it performs compared to my M2 iPad Pro. I don't have a laptop anymore and use the iPad for almost everything in my business, from creativity to journaling to video editing and for all the boring admin tasks. I also use my iPad to practice the piano and do my workouts, and of course for entertainment. Most of these tasks are not particularly performance demanding, but on older iPads you can sometimes notice a lag when opening a Procreate canvas with many layers or jumping between different pages in my planner. With this new iPad, everything is super fast and fluid. I've tested out different things such as opening Procreate canvases and video rendering, as well as multitasking with 4 different apps using Stage Manager. My old iPad could handle all of these tasks, but it just feels snappier on this new iPad. I was actually surprised to even notice the speed improvement because my M2 iPad was already very fast and I don't think it could be improved much, but the performance gain is definitely noticeable. Apple has hinted at lots of exciting AI features to come, so I'm hoping that a future iPad OS update will give us even more features to utilize the power of the M4 chip. What's nice is that the battery life remains the same despite the smaller form factor of the iPad. I'm even thinking I might get a tiny bit more battery life out of it because I can turn down the brightness a lot more. But we will see if this turns out to be true in practice. So now it's time to make a decision about which iPad to keep. Here are some of the pros and cons for both screens. Pros of the Nano Texture screens are the matte surface provided by the Nano Texture is really smooth and feels nice to write on. It's a lot less sticky under your wrist but provides a bit of resistance under the Apple Pencil. It's designed for outdoor use and the screen glare is much reduced, especially in direct sunlight. And what I really like about it also is that it doesn't leave fingerprints like the regular glass screens do. But then on the flip side, an additional $100 cost for the Nano Texture feature makes it quite an expensive option, especially consider that you will also need to get that 1 or 2 terabyte version. It doesn't provide a significantly improved drawing experience compared to the standard iPad screen. And if you're looking for the optimal visual quality, it might not be suitable as the matte texture can dampen the screen brightness and color richness. I'm also a bit concerned that it requires a special cleaning cloth provided by Apple to clean their screen safely. And then I'm not sure if I could put a screen protector on it. In order to overcome some of the disadvantages of the glass screen, you can put a screen protector on it. A screen protector has the advantage that it also reduces the glare somewhat, but in addition it actually protects your screen from scratches, fingerprints and dirt. Replacing the screen protector is much cheaper than replacing the screen of your iPad. In addition, it also provides more friction and more of that paper-like feel when you draw with the Apple Pencil. Disadvantages of using a screen protector is that you will need to replace it every now and then, and it reduces the visual quality of the iPad as well. It can also be a bit tricky to install and it is prone to forming air bubbles underneath. At this time, I'm slightly favoring the glass screen over the Nano Texture screen because it's giving me the option to either enjoy the truly magnificent display or put a screen protector on it to get the nice paper-like feel. Of course, this is a very personal choice, but I really hope you've liked this video and it has provided you with some of the answers you were hoping for. Let me know in the comments which iPad you would choose. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you in my next video.